Hello and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat. Today we're going to be talking all things FA Cup semi-final, mainly the game between Chelsea and Manchester United. Though first, I feel it's right to give plaudits to Tottenham for getting to the final. We're focusing on the United-Chelsea game. There's a lot of controversy to talk about, and obviously it's a huge upset. But, commendations to Tottenham and commiserations to Leicester, who played very well. It made for a brilliant game, went all the way to extra time. Unfortunately, there can only be one finalist. Great job from Tottenham on the day.
Yeah, no, both sides played really, really well. They gave us a really, really good game. It was thoroughly enjoyable. 120 minutes of brilliant, brilliant football. And as you say, it's a shame that both sides, to be honest, for me, deserve to go through. Tottenham got that goal. Good luck to them. Leicester, hold your heads high because that was a phenomenal effort.
Yeah, and I feel they were hard done by just not getting over the line there. But they played very, very well. A mistake in the last 10 minutes, costing them massively. Let's talk about the United-Chelsea game, though. Marc Skinner has finally done it. Marc Skinner has beaten Emma Hayes for the first time in his career. Manchester United have beaten Chelsea for the first time in history. A momentous weekend, really, for that.
Yeah, huge moment for Skinner, a huge moment for the club. And
It's getting on his mantelpiece.
I'm sure that they absolutely enjoyed it, and to be fair to United, to be honest, they did what they needed to do, and they kind of stunned Chelsea and really took advantage of what has been a really tough last few weeks for the Blues after the Continental Cup final loss, then the international break. United have taken advantage of that and have managed to, as you say, finally beat Chelsea. And it's huge. It's huge for them. This isn't just any old league game. As you say, it's FA Cup final. They go through to play Tottenham, and who knows what's going to happen in that game.
Yeah.
But overall, United, they did what was needed.
Yeah, and United, were merited in being in the front. Chelsea started very slowly. Let's talk about that opening goal. It was a huge error from Eva Perisset, but beyond that, it was messy from Chelsea defensively. Leao takes the ball down the left-hand side, crosses it in, and once again, Chelsea show an inability to deal with a cross. The second goal, very similarly, it's a bit of a tussle. Toon comes away with the ball, whips the ball in, and Chelsea show an inability to deal with the cross. It's frustrating how similar the goals were.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, Perisset would have been better off if she's completely missed the ball. The fact she scuffed it made it even worse. But yeah, really poor defending from Chelsea. I mean, Garcia and Williams are not the tallest players on the pitch. You compare them to Buchanan, Carter and Charles, the Chelsea defence should be winning the header every single time. I look at Khadija, especially the second one. Buchanan's got a free header, doesn't jump for it, and Williams heads it. Really poor defending. United took advantage. They scored two very, as you say, similar goals, pretty easy goals, to be completely honest. And from there, it was always going to be an uphill battle for Chelsea, and it's one that they didn't manage to overcome.
Despite a lot of chances, I don't think we can really talk about this game without talking about one big thing. Now, I'm not going to excuse Chelsea's performance because I think that, there's too many chances missed to blame this just on the referee. But the referee has got to look at that performance and consider whether she needs to change her career, because that was perhaps the worst refereeing performance I've seen in the history of the women's game. I cannot recall a time where a referee has missed 4 blatant big moments in their game. The first of which, we'll talk about them in chronological order, the first of which is Marc Skinner elbowing Maya Ramirez in the face. I mean, I can understand from the referee's perspective why you may not see this. You're following the ball, but you've got 3 other officials there, liner on each side, and the 4th official, who should all be noticing the fact that their centre-half has elbowed our striker in the face. That's quite an obvious one for everyone to miss. I can't see any way that's not a red card, because she has no intent to play the ball. The ball's not even in frame, and she just elbows her in the face because she's running beyond her. It was done, and I lost a lot of respect for Maya Letizia this weekend, because I've always viewed her as quite a good player and not needing to go into the dark arts, but clearly that's not the case. I don't know whether it's a direction from Skinner. I would be willing to bet my bottom dollar it is, but I thought it was disgusting what she did. I thought it was incredibly dirty, and she's very, very lucky that no one noticed it, because that should have been a straight red card. So, yeah, it's that was a weird one for me. I can't understand how nobody saw it. Letizia should have walked in that moment, and if she wasn't riding her luck with that one, she certainly was when she shoved over Maya Ramirez in the box. I think the one excuse here is that Ramirez still gets contact with the header. I think if she doesn't, maybe there's a penalty shout in there. But this weekend has opened up the debate again about VAR. Now, I understand the practical implications to why we can't implement it, but we've got to get to a point soon where we can.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there are workarounds. Maybe it is that we need to, the WSL have to play at their homes, their men's side stadium, which can happen if we play. If you sort the schedule in that way.
I mean, we've seen how maybe you take VAR in a different direction, but I don't know how allowed this is, but surely you can have the minimum because even if you don't have the infrastructure to put the monitor in the stadium, surely you can just mic the officials on the pitch up to some people sitting in the room upstairs who can see
Stockley
replays.
Park.
Exactly.
They're all there.
Doable. Anyone can do that because that's just 3 radio systems. Yeah. Like, I know that's not the full complement, but it's a start, isn't it? Because then suddenly someone goes, hang on a minute, because let's be honest, don't give the referees a second opinion because they always change their mind.
And if the referee needs to watch it again, Sky Go. Yeah. Get it on demand. They've got to wait a minute. Oh, hang on, it's coming up. There we go. Penalty. Easy one to call that one, but yeah, I find it bizarre that one got missed because that was on the ball.
Yeah.
And it was 2 hands. She shoved Ramirez. Absolutely ridiculous. And if you thought it wasn't getting silly enough in that moment,
second half,
it only got more mental. Now, I think the most blatant, the most blindingly obvious one is where Katie Zellum decides, you know what? I've enough bit of defensive midfielder. I don't get to use my hands, so I'm going to be a goalkeeper now. With one of the best saves I've ever seen from Katie Zellum, to be fair. Yeah. She's rushing towards Canaride. Lovely sweeping save with the arm. Incredible stuff.
Now, this one's an interesting one because we questioned on stream where we're watching it how the referee, even if she couldn't see the contact of the arm, how the referee thought that ball just stopped midair.
Yeah.
Now, you see when you watch it back, so I saw this, when Cuthbert asked the question, the referee signals that she believed that Zellum's arm was down by her side. Now, I find that hilarious because Zellum's arm was up here. Like, you can't, it's ridiculous. That one was the worst one for me. I can get the shove because, I mean,
she gets a header away.
Heads the ball. I get
it's a dubious one regardless because
exactly. I get the elbow because the referee didn't see it. This one, however, I have no excuse.
It's inexcusable.
Canaride's had a shot. Zellum's saved it her arm up here, and the referee, even if she hasn't seen the contact with the ball on the arm, she must go. Well, that ball has either magically been stopped by some force, or it's hit her arm.
Well, that's the thing. I think there has to be some sort of punishment for this. We can't allow this level of incompetence in the women's game and there not be some sort of punishment, even if it's a simple thing as she doesn't referee the next game week.
Yeah.
But I can't see how a referee can be allowed to make such a blatant and such a crucial error in a game of that magnitude and there be no repercussions. For me, that's disingenuous to the quality of the women's game.
And I feel like there is a succession of, because I know a lot of people will say, we're just whining because we lost. But then you look at other games, and the first example I'm going to use is one against Chelsea, West Ham Chelsea. West Ham scored a perfectly good goal that was at least 2 yards onside, and the lineswoman put her flag up and it was ruled off. That one again, that lineswoman, that referee, they've got to be, I get offside a bit different, but that is it wasn't even close. Chelsea Real Madrid in the Champions League. I mean, Jessie Fleming made a tackle outside the box and it was given as a penalty. And then Charles was probably about between 5 to 10 yards onside and she scored. So I'm not just saying it was this game, but it does feel like there's a lot of protection and lack of punishment for poor refereeing performance. And I'm sure in the comments below you guys will find examples of other games where we've seen that.
I feel, there needs to be a serious question asked about the quality and the standard of officiating in the women's game. We speak about enough in the men's game, and I don't want it to plague the women's game because it's not the discourse we want to be having. We want to be talking about, what tactically was interesting in this game. But unfortunately, when the mistakes mar a match like this, we can't really discuss what happened tactically because what happened tactically paints a picture that Chelsea dominated the game because they did. They created chance after chance after chance. Now, through one, every time they got in, there would be some sort of incident like this, and two, Marriott's having an absolute blinder. They didn't convert those chances. And obviously we can talk about what Chelsea got wrong. They didn't create enough chances. I know they had 20 shots. They've got to be more clinical. Yeah. But maybe it's about creating better quality chances as well because 20 shots, 8 on target, and you score 1 goal. United only had 2 shots on target all game and they both went in. So I find it, or at least in the first half, sorry, I don't know the stats for the full game, but I find it bizarre. I find it bizarre that the refs managed to get 70 wrong. And then we talk, the Neve Charles one's a little more dubious, but Rachel Williams makes a 10 for the ball. She misses the ball and she kicks Neve Charles. So I can't see how that's not given as a penalty.
And I think the big thing, I don't think, and I want to, I think it's something that's very clear. I don't want to keep going on about the referee, but this game isn't solved by VAR. Like Chelsea, even if VAR, like even without technology, I can get the elbow, I can get the shove, but between the Charles one and the Zelen one, that falls on poor refereeing. And we call for technology, we call for improvements. That needs to come in. But to be honest, I put the majority of this game down to poor refereeing. You can get things wrong as a referee. I think if the referee, gets the Charles one wrong, I understand. Gets the Zelen one wrong, understand. But the consistent big decisions, you're bottling it.
We can't have a referee at the professional level making errors like that. It seemed like she was reffing scared. She didn't want to give a penalty because it's a big game. It's a semi-final. There's a lot on the line. But when players aren't abiding by the rules, you have to award punishments. I mean, quite frankly, it's a form of cheating what Manchester United did. They broke rules on four. They broke the rules of the game on 4 separate occasions. The most obvious ones on 4 separate occasions that went completely unpunished, and they are game-changing moments. Because if a goal, most of them would have led to a goal you would expect, or a red card. Those change game states. Game state changes change matches, and that is a huge.
Yeah.
That's huge implications.
And the problem is it's also a massive void because then you have this referee, and then let's then take Emily Heaslip, who is the most by the book referee I have ever met.
Perhaps too stoically by the book at times.
That's the problem. And I mean, also, I know there'll probably be in the comments who will mention the Man City Chelsea game where Heaslip sent off to now City players. The problem is, to be honest, I do think she was a little bit in the wrong there. Very harsh.
Because I think you have to use common sense in some examples.
By the book, she was correct, but it's about using common sense. Whereas, this referee, I can't remember her name now. I didn't want to do that. I want to say, I think it's Abigail someone. It was so poor, and the difference was there, she didn't use any of the book. Sometimes you have just got to use your brain, but also use the rules, and you've got to think about it. And this just really, really wasn't a good enough showing. But as you say, Chelsea were wasteful. They were poor. United, they did what they needed to do. They got an early goal. They put Chelsea under pressure. They got a second goal, and then from there they could just hold on.
Yeah, it's Kirsty Dowell was the referee.
Right, yeah.
According to this. But, that's just really, really big errors, high-profile errors in a game like this that has huge consequences, and I don't think we can stand for that in the women's game. However, it goes out saying that Chelsea were not good enough on the day. We had so many chances and none of them were put away. Now, of course, we can blame certain factors. I think a lot of praise has to go down to Marriott's performance because without 2 absolutely blinding saves in that game, Manchester United would have lost. So, huge commendation to her. She had a brilliant game. United were a bit too open at times. They got away with it. But Chelsea missed too many chances. Quite simple. That's a fact of the matter. Chelsea missed too many chances, and there was odd decisions again from Emma Hayes. I don't know why Perisset managed to survive the half and then didn't come off until the 85th minute or something like that. When she was awful in the first half, made an error leading to a goal and looked completely off the pace. I think it was an odd decision for her to start anyway. I know Ashley Lawrence had been with Canada at the the international duty, but I feel like she would have been a better pick for today. Perisset's been played so much football recently. She's going to be knackered. We now go into Aston Villa on Wednesday, and this is going to come out on the Tuesday. So we're talking ahead of that game, and I don't really know what team plays there because surely it has to be a rotated side. But Chelsea can't afford to not win that game. That's the issue for Chelsea now. They're in a situation where they have to win every game, but they don't have a full complement, so they haven't got the best rotation options right now. And with Barcelona coming up on Saturday, all attention should be on that game, but we've got to get through the match on Wednesday first.
Yeah, and I think Emma Hayes has got a big job on her hands because this is a Chelsea side whose mentality, is always phenomenal. Their confidence and the atmosphere around the club has always been brilliant, and that is why Chelsea are formidable winners. Yeah. That's why they've roll over teams in every competition and win trophies after trophies after trophies. Now, Chelsea were looking at the quadruple this season, and that's dissipated to a double for not a very, very unlikely double.
I was going to say.
in the
Because
space of 2 weeks.
even if we somehow beat Barcelona and then get into a Women's Champions League final, we've still got to then win the league, and that doesn't seem reasonable right now. And
I mean, I think Chelsea
we could come away with nothing this season.
I really do.
Emma Hayes' big farewell tour could just be a load, a terrible one.
And what do I put? I think Emma has not been it. I don't think she. And I think she has not had a great last couple of weeks.
I don't know if her heart's in it.
Yeah,
I would never question Emma Hayes. I don't usually, but I have to at the moment because even on the sidelines, there doesn't seem to be that same fight. Instead, it's a bit more, I guess, catty is how I describe it. These comments and press conferences, shouting, pushing Ida Val, blaming others. She's not taking accountability. And what she's always done so well at Chelsea has gone, I've got that wrong.
Yeah.
And then looked at the players and you've got that wrong. And it's taking accountability for herself, taking accountability, making the players take accountability for their errors. Instead, this season, it feels very much, woe is me. Oh, this happened, that happened. It's been a farce. The ref's awful. So many excuses. And not actually, you know what? We were a bit shit today.
Yeah.
We need to look in the mirror and go, we were a bit shit today. And we've got to change that because if not, Chelsea will come away from the season with nothing. I mean, I know we have Sonia Bonpastor coming in next season, so it's not all terrible. That's a very good appointment, but I feel we could come away from the season with huge regrets if we don't pick it up in the next week. We've got less than 6 days now till the Barcelona game. That is not enough time. Not enough time.
And I think initially the first problem was that her heart was in it too much. Her farewell season, she wanted this quadruple, and in the Arsenal game, she let that show because she wanted it so badly. She then cracked, and then I think the way she's reacted to that is really poor. And now we're seeing that maybe she's just kind of had enough. Like she just wants to put this all behind her, new start at the US, and move on. But to be honest, it's felt like over the last few weeks she's dropped to the level of the Vidaval, and she's dropped to the level of someone like Marc Skinner.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel it's a weird situation. I feel for me, what we've seen this season across both the women's and the men's game is that announcing your retirement or your departure too early can actually have detrimental effects.
Yeah.
Because rather than everyone rallying together, it's more, it's over. It's more worrying about that. For me, it would have made more sense to... I get why the US wanted to announce it so early because they have to appease their fans, but for me, they had to keep that under wraps. I get what it's kind of out of Chelsea's control, but it would have made more sense for Emma could have still told the Chelsea board, "I'm going in a decision." She had to do that. We needed to be able to bring in a replacement, but it'd been terrible if she just left at the end of the season. We've got to suddenly try and find someone, but that didn't need to be a public thing because I definitely think that's had an impact.
Yeah.
Let's talk finally about our favourite man in the world. It's Marc Skinner.
I hate him. I'm gonna be completely honest. I really dislike him. I don't think he doesn't come across as a very nice person. He definitely doesn't act like a very nice person. And to be honest, I have very little respect for the man. Yeah,
I think that you can praise Manchester United's players for this performance because they dug in deep without praising Marc Skinner. Because quite frankly, I don't think Maya Letizia, now I might be wrong here, but I don't think she's the type of player to go around elbowing people in the face. No. I can tell you for certain there is one man who would encourage that. So I just think a lot of his tactics are underhanded, and actually, as a manager, he will never compare to Emma Hayes. So he'll enjoy this victory. He's finally got one over Emma Hayes, but ultimately he will never win a WSL title. Yeah, I'm saying that now. I might look like an idiot in a year's time if suddenly he bucks his ideas up, but I don't think Marc Skinner's ever going to win a WSL title.
I don't think this FA Cup is a foregone conclusion for Man United. Because what happens is they get to Wembley, Tottenham take the advantage, and then Skinner, who is probably one of the worst managers I've ever seen when pressure's on. When he is under pressure, in a game, he can, like last year's FA Cup final, United. Yeah. He can. I mean, they only lost one, didn't they?
I'm sure we'll preview it much closer to time, but I think Tottenham have got a very good chance in that game. I know they'll be without Grace Clinton. That's a huge miss, but they've got players that know what it takes.
Skinner is United's kryptonite.
They've got players like Beth England who know what it takes to win, and United don't have those players. No. United just don't, and I do think Robert Villaharm could get one over Skinner, and that would be hilarious. Hilarious if Villaharm,
Wembley back to back.
As Villaharm claims a trophy in his first season and Skinner can't get one yet. But Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting end to this campaign. And of course, that whoever does win the FA Cup will break a 27 game or 27 trophy consecutive run of Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man City winning things in the women's game, which is incredible. No one in the women's game beyond those three sides has won a single title since 2014 when Liverpool claimed the WSL. An incredible run for those three sides. Is a sign that it's coming to an end.
Maybe so, especially in the form of Tottenham coming through. It's going to be a really good game. Congratulations to United, not congratulations to Skinner. Chelsea need to go back to the drawing board and quickly.
I couldn't agree more. Right, that is everything for today's video. In terms of this week, we will have WSL predictions out at a slightly different time because of the Chelsea-Aston Villa game on Wednesday. WSL predictions will be out tomorrow, so look out for a special midweek edition of that where we will be doing our games a little bit ahead of time. And then on Friday, ahead of the Champions League semi-final between Barcelona and Chelsea, we'll be doing our preview for the match, where we'll break down whether Emma Hayes and Chelsea can beat Jonathan Giraldez's Barcelona side. It's going to be a very good game. We saw Giraldez there at the weekend taking notes. I'm sure we'll be very happy with what he saw because Chelsea look very beatable. So should be a great game Saturday. We will be live for it. So join us here from... Is it 12:30? It'll just be me on Saturday, but yeah, join us here. 12:15 start. Might even do a 12 o'clock start. So look out for the stream page. Very, very excited for that. But yes, that's everything for today's video. Make sure to leave a like if you've enjoyed. And if you want to keep watching our content, there's a video on screen now if you could go ahead and click on. So thank you guys very, very much for watching today. And we will see you next time.
See ya.